Try Googling back to school tips. You'll probably get advice like go to bed early, lay out clothes the night before, and eat a healthy breakfast. Simple tips like this may work for the average family, but foster and adoptive parents see straight through them. Where are the strategies for parents who fight a nightly battle over bedtime? Whose kids refuse to eat anything but buttered bread for breakfast? Or whose kids are often labeled disruptive or defiant by teachers because they can't follow directions? If past experiences have left both you and your child anxious about heading back to school, you're not alone. In this video, we'll explore 4 practical strategies to help your child thrive in their learning environment. In an article by Heather Forbes with the Beyond Consequences Institute, she uncovers the reason typical back-to-school tips don't work for kids from hard places. They fail to address the root of severe behaviors, fear. Fear-based behaviors can be challenging enough to manage at home where you can control the schedule and environment, but it takes more preparation and awareness to help your child work through fear and stress at school. Let's dive into the strategies that will empower your child to stay regulated and enjoy a positive school experience. Believe it or not, your first strategy is managing your own stress. It turns out that a parent's stress quickly becomes a child's stress, meaning a dysregulated parent can't send a regulated child to school. So while those simple tips I mentioned may not be enough for your kids, you might want to consider laying out your own clothes the night before, going to bed at a decent time, and maybe having more than a cup of coffee for breakfast. If you work outside the home, avoid scheduling important meetings first thing in the morning. And if possible, let your boss know about the potential need for flexibility in your schedule. This way, you have at least a little wiggle room if your child's having trouble getting out the door. How you respond to stress will directly impact how your child responds to stress. This is actually good news because it means you can model and practice helpful regulation techniques. When you're feeling rushed or anxious, consider modeling these steps. First, name the stress. Boy, my heart is racing and my stomach feels upset. I think I'm stressed about going to work today. Next, invite your child to co-regulate with you. Try using the magic mustache to apply pressure to a calming point on your upper lip. Then take a few deep breaths together or get a sip of water. Practicing these steps at home will teach your child how to regulate their own mind and body when they feel stressed. Your second strategy is to become an advocate for your child. This takes courage. You might fear being labeled the overbearing parent or even subjecting your child to labels by exposing their needs and struggles. These concerns are valid, but they don't outweigh the need to give your child their best chance at a positive school experience. If your child had a physical disability, you wouldn't send them to school without their wheelchair or the correct medications. Likewise, you'll want to ensure your child has everything they need to meet their mental or emotional needs as well. The truth is, your child has complex needs, and they are worthy of being understood. Working with your child's school to create a plan that works for them will benefit everyone in the long run. Just keep in mind that you're a team. You'll gain much more ground by approaching conversations with teachers and staff as they huddle up instead of a battlefield. Remember, you are the expert on your child. You know their history, their struggles, their quirks and cues. It's the teacher's job to educate your child, but it's your job to educate the teacher about your child. Try to get on the same page about corrective practices. Familiarize yourself with the school's disciplinary policies and code of conduct so you know what's expected. Then, discuss accommodations that will better help set your child up for success. For example, maybe the school's policy for addressing disruptive behavior involves taking away the child's recess, but you as the parent know that recess is the one thing your child needs most to release stress. You might suggest other options for correcting your child that won't cause more stress, like offering a redo or giving them a calming task to do. Also, consider sharing information about trauma-informed care, as well as any language or techniques that help keep your child regulated at home. And encourage staff to keep you informed and involved, whether that means scheduling regular meetings or asking for additional progress reports throughout the year. Your third strategy is addressing some of the hardest parts of the day for your child: transitions. Transitions carry a big fear factor for kids with histories of trauma. Imagine waking up and going to school like any other day and then never going home. This is the experience of many kids in foster care, and it can make them reluctant to leave the house in the mornings. Likewise, other unexpected changes in the past may have led to equally scary outcomes for your child. One way to proactively address this fear is to name it out loud with your child the night before school. You might say something like this: "Last year, I didn't realize how scary and hard it can be to leave the house in the morning. Had I been taken from school to a new home all of a sudden, I'd be scared too. I want to help make it easier for you this year." This practice can be liberating, even if that first removal happened years ago. By acknowledging these fears, you give your child the power to understand why they feel so anxious when it's time to go back to school. As you process their memories together, you replace fear with awareness and support. Then you can equip them with the tools to calm themselves by themselves. Before school, go through the schedule for the day with your child, highlighting when you will be back to pick them up. It might help to get them a copy of their daily schedule and a watch so they can keep track of time for themselves. Do your best to give your child multiple warnings before leaving for school. We're leaving for school in 10 minutes. We're heading out the door in 5 minutes, 2 minutes. If you can, get your child's teachers to replicate this practice at school, warning the class before transitions like changing classrooms, going to lunch, and the final bell. You can also practice transitions like getting off the bus or walking in a line at home. This will allow them to form healthy habits around transitions, like taking deep breaths and respecting personal space. This may seem simple, but these habits can help your child relax because they know what to expect and how to prepare for whatever's coming next. Your fourth strategy involves flexibility. Yes, your child's education is important, but in order to meet their complex needs, we need to adjust our expectations. Traditional methods of getting their attention, giving instructions, and testing their knowledge won't always work. This is why it's crucial to collaborate with your child's school to support them in as many practical ways as possible. Discuss some of the rules they're familiar with, including helpful scripts like, "How about a compromise?" or "Would you like a redo?" The way your child's teacher phrases correction also matters. Ask them to try correcting your child in a way that helps calm them down instead of producing shame. This looks like offering a positive solution instead of threatening punishment. Say the teacher has asked Johnny to keep his hands to himself and finish his work multiple times with no effect. Instead of threatening to send Johnny out in the hall if he can't calm down, the teacher could instead say, "Johnny, I can see it's hard to settle down right now. Why don't you go get a quick drink of water and come back? Or why don't you come sit at my desk with me for a bit?" In some cases, it may also be helpful to give the school permission to let your child call you when they need extra help calming down. On the flip side, it can be beneficial to ask your child's teacher to reinforce behaviors they want to see, like cheering for others or sharing space well. This might look like praising your child in front of their peers or in front of you at pickup. Sooner or later, you'll likely meet a teacher who pushes back saying, "I can't do that for every student." That's true, but you might gently remind them that they don't have to. By accommodating just 1 or 2 children in the class, a teacher can help all their students stay connected and continue learning without shame or isolation. As a parent, you can help by ensuring those accommodations don't all fall to one teacher. Identify a counselor or another safe adult who your child can talk to when they need extra support. If advocating for your child at school feels intimidating or overwhelming to you, I understand. Sometimes getting school staff on board with trauma-informed care can be tricky, but you have tools and a team behind you. In addition to using these strategies, I also want to encourage you to reach out to your local ChildBridge foster parent coach and your foster parent community. They can offer a wealth of advice based on research and experience. I'd also like to offer you a few resources that go more in depth into this topic, including the books Beyond Consequences, Logic and Control, Help for Billy, and Dare to Love. No matter how complex your child's needs, they deserve to be understood. Remember to address your own stress first. Advocate for your child throughout the school year. Practice transitions and be flexible. We hope these strategies help both you and your child approach the school year with renewed confidence.